There's this judge. He got famous a while back because he heard a case of a guy having a suspended license, and the guy showed up on Zoom. Anyway, this judge kind of, went famous because this guy was acting a fool. And the judge, blew the case wide open. Guy claimed that he did have a license and it was a mistake. And then the judge revealed that he didn't have a license the whole time. It was a big thing. Anyway, this judge, I guess he's kind of internet famous now, and he's got a new guy in front of him, basically. And this guy has rejected counsel. He's rejecting an attorney. He will not have an attorney. Now, there are a lot of reasons for this, a lot of good reasons, but just listen to how it goes here.
Going to represent yourself?
Yes, sure.
Okay, what are we doing?
To begin, I'd like to just announce a brief summary of the incident that happened.
Pardon?
The incident on October 11th, the reason why I'm here. I would just like to announce a brief summary of what happened.
And that's going to get us where?
Well, I did file a motion a couple weeks ago for discovery. I do have a copy of each.
Yeah, no, I saw it. Did you get the discovery?
I did not, but I don't think I properly served it on the prosecutor. So I'm here to do that today.
Okay, this guy's being really respectful and admitting when he's wrong, and that's hard sometimes. That can be hard for a lot of people. Mad respect for the guy. It's really stupid to not have an attorney in court, really stupid. It's not about some kind of elitism or something, but it's like a very specific system that exists. And if people do not follow this very specific system, then it leads to confusion, complete confusion. Now, if this guy is going to represent himself, it seems to me that he should probably look up on Google how to represent yourself. He's not following any of the common standard practices or whatever. He's not doing what people normally do when they enter court or anything. So
I did serve it with the courts. I did file with the courts.
Oh, no, I saw it. So what do you want me to do with your case today?
Well, I a few things. I want my bond.
He's nervous, and I feel bad for him. Look, the reason this could be happening is because he's a sovereign citizen and he wants to make all these stupid arguments. Or it could be because he doesn't have enough money to have an attorney. Now, if you're low income, then you are appointed an attorney automatically, right? But if you're high income and you have a really high mortgage and a high car payment and everything, and you have zero savings, you don't have enough money to pay for an attorney. What do you do then? What's the next option? There is none. You have no other choice but to try to represent yourself. That's it. So I feel for the guy, actually.
Conditions lifted. I want a discovery. I don't know exactly what the procedures here is. You know that wrongly.
Yeah, I know, because as you're talking and as everything went through, I could tell you didn't know.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't oh, yeah, obviously. Of course he doesn't know.
But I'm trying my best to do things right. But I just
Okay, you haven't started out well.
Sorry.
Okay. I appreciate this judge. He's interesting and he's funny and he's very good at his job. But sometimes he's kind of a shithead. You don't have to be a shithead. Honestly, that's all judges, though. Just about all judges are really full of themselves, seems to me. But this judge's name is Judge Simpson, and he's just internet famous recently. Anyway, they want to be called Your Honor and all kinds of other stupid shit. Whatever. I mean, I appreciate this judge specifically, but you don't have to be a douchebag.
I'm here because I'm told to be here today, Your Honor. That's the only.
I know.
So what I want to do
kind of goes out in my name. So yes, I know why you're here. Let me ask you this: you want to represent yourself in this?
Yes, Your Honor.
You don't want help?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to apprise you, if you wish to represent yourself, you're constitutionally entitled to do that. I will apprise you that you are before the court on the charge of resisting and obstructing a police officer. You understand that charge?
I do.
Resisting and obstructing a police officer. What could he have possibly done? You know what really bothers me a lot? This doesn't sound like exactly the same case, but in some cases, people are arrested for resisting arrest. I can't stand that. It's like a circular loop that any cop could get people into if they chose. If you're hit with resisting arrest, then you should also receive an additional charge along with the resisting arrest charge, in my opinion.
All right. That is a felony or a high court misdemeanor.
Holy shit.
It is punishable by up to 2 years incarceration and $2,000 fine plus court costs. You understand that?
I do.
All right.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, I cannot imagine a scenario in which he would be doing this without an attorney of his own free will. Or unless he's like, he could be a sovereign citizen, but he doesn't seem to be. He doesn't seem to be like one of those nutcases that thinks that he's like not a person, but he's an individual and blah, 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 you know how they do.
You also understand, sir, that there can be great peril in representing yourself.
I understand.
I mean, what are you supposed to do? You have no money. You have no way to do it. You know, the public defenders are only for certain types of people, for people under a certain like wage or whatever. I don't know.
You understand also that at this proceeding and any other further proceeding, that the court is going to hold you to the same standard the court would hold anybody else to. And the court will not play favorites. The court will not help you out. The court will not be assisting you. You understand that, sir?
I do.
All right. If at any time you wish to be represented by an attorney, and if you cannot afford to hire an attorney, but if you wish to be represented by an attorney, the court will afford you that opportunity to be represented. You understand that?
That process is throughout the whole discovery and trial.
Pardon?
I can be.
So he's saying basically, I don't have the money to afford an attorney, even though I'm assuming is what's happening, even though I'm over a certain like income limit or whatever. You may be able to get an attorney in here to represent me like right now, but they're not going to represent me through my entire trial. It's just going to be like they're going to come in right now and talk to you on my behalf and then leave. I think that's what he's saying.
Be assisted with if I can.
If you request an attorney represent you in this matter, that the court will at that point, if you cannot afford to hire one, the court will make sure that you have one. If you wish to get your own attorney, the court will afford you that opportunity to do that. You understand that?
I do.
So what do we wish to do today?
I would like to first file a request for suppression of this evidence until full
Suppression of what evidence?
of body cams, squad footage.
On what basis would you be doing that?
Miranda versus Arizona,
Which says what?
that I was not read my rights prior to being detained.
Okay, I think that no, he can be detained, and he was resisting the detention. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I've kind of picked up a little bit from my wife. She's almost done with law school, like 2 weeks, and I think the Miranda rights would only really protect him from like self-incrimination, basically. So if he had like admitted to something before his Miranda rights were read to him, but he was like arrested anyway, then it wouldn't, that'd be fruit from the poison tree. And you couldn't use that, I think. Anyway, that's just, I'm just a layman.
And because of that, any violations that I could have possibly said that could impede my case.
That's your basis for the suppression of body cam?
That's faulty as shit. There is no good reason for that. I mean, I'm sorry. That is not a good reason. That's no reason at all.
That I have the right to be read my Miranda rights and know that anything that I say can be used against me. I was not notified.
So that's your basis
to suppress
the body cam.
I'm not trying to suppress it from the court to see. I don't want it.
That was assumed.
In the public domain, I don't want it.
Dude, okay. I'm assuming that this guy is good faith and that he just doesn't know what he's doing. And if that's true, I feel for him.
Anything that happened, I was on the scene. The police were on the scene for 2 minutes. They were dispatched there over a fight.
I don't know what. Okay. You're going to have to put more in writing for me to even understand that, because as it stands here right now, based upon what you told me, I'm going to deny your motion.
Deny my motion to suppress under Miranda?
As you're calling it, your motion's denied.
Okay. Maybe I'll formulate my request a little more precise to my.
Yeah, it sounds like he doesn't know what he's doing, and he realizes he doesn't, and he's just like he can't afford an attorney. That's what it seems like to me.
Specific conditions, but I also am requesting that there's full discovery in this process.
Okay. Have you sent a request to the prosecutor's office for discovery?
I have not. No,
Have you asked them, how do I get discovery?
no, I will be doing
Did
that.
you ask anybody how to get discovery?
I asked a couple of the clerks, but they can't, give too much legal advice. So I'm trying to.
I mean, that's not legal advice. That's just an explanation of like the process. I don't know. Nobody wants to help anybody if they're not like following expected kind of processes or whatever. So I don't know. The legal field is very, it's full of people that believe themselves to like be better than others, I guess.
Take as much responsibility for this as I can.
Okay. Well, I'm going to, at this point, deny that motion because there hasn't even been a request for discovery. If you don't get something, then you bring a motion for discovery.
Okay.
Next thing you want to do.
Discontinue all hearings until there's substantial evidence on file.
Yeah, the evidence that he's trying to suppress is not evidence in the case. Exactly. He's just, all right. He just doesn't understand.
Okay, that doesn't happen that way. I don't know what discontinue all hearings mean.
I don't know either, Your Honor. I'm just representing myself over here.
This is going to be a long process.
Oh, this guy in the background is going to come up and help him.
If you just are throwing stuff out there.
I'm really, I tried to prepare my best for this. I'm really.
Okay, this was your best?
He doesn't have to be an asshole about it. Like,
you may want to consider getting an attorney, but I'm going to let you go because you have a constitutional right to do it. But this is going to be a long, arduous process if we're going to go at this rate.
What does the prosecution expect next in this case?
Pardon? What do you mean?
he's asking procedural stuff. This isn't legal advice.
You're asking me for what I want out of this case and what I expect.
I'm asking you, what do you want to do today?
I want to go home and have all charges lifted.
That's not going to happen.
Okay, so
I mean,
what do I got to do?
Going home is an option, but the charges aren't going anywhere.
I understand, and that's the end goal of where I want to be one day, acquitted of all charges.
Yeah, I don't mean to interrupt, but I am from the public defender's office. I'd be happy if the court wanted to pass us to talk with this gentleman.
He says he wants to represent himself, and if he wants to talk to you, then yeah, I mean, I know, Mr. Getty, and I appreciate it, but what do you want to do, sir?
I'm not sure what you're asking me. What are my options, sir? Your Honor?
The court will not help you out. The court will not be assisting you. You understand that, sir?
I do.
All right. All right.
What do I want to do?
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a break because I have to have something happen before noon.
What's that? Have something happen? Have a Snickers bar? I just finished writing a book titled Was Hitler an Atheist? It talks about religions during the Third Reich and how they worked together. Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses, and Protestants. And I even address the lies told by the evangelical world about Bonhoeffer. It's on Audible and Amazon. Okay, let's continue.
I will call the Spanish case up afterwards. I will also then call the one plea, maybe, that we have. And then I'll recall your case in the next block.
Okay.
And then maybe between the time I leave this bench and come back, you'll figure out exactly what you want to do.
Yeah, I'll
And I'm hoping that the public defender behind him is just going to like talk to him.
How to do it.
I'll do that.
Or maybe if you want an attorney to represent you to help you through this process, because otherwise this thing could go south for you.
Yeah, I understand.
Not be good. But I'll let you think about that. That's your call.
All right.
Court's in recess. All right. Court recalls case People versus Daniel McGraw.
That's a lot of people.
In Your Honor.
Good. So does he? Yeah, he came back. Okay.
What's your name?
Daniel Magoo.
All right.
Oh, this dude fell asleep. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I think what's happening here is, I could be wrong. I think this Daniel Magoo fellow was in jail, maybe. And he's been taken out of jail and given a suit so that he can like discuss next steps, or so he can approach the court. And this other guy on the bottom is waiting for him to finish, I think. Or maybe he's not in jail. Maybe they're just waiting, because that dude on the bottom doesn't seem to have like a jail outfit on. I can't tell.
When the court passed this case,
Like my brother went to jail not too long ago over some stuff, and I feel like something very similar happened at the time. Like I can't play it because it's my brother's stuff, and whatever. But it was very similar. He wasn't trying to represent himself. He just didn't know when to clamp it, basically. Just shut your mouth and Answer the questions that they're asking and let your attorney do the talking, and that's it, you know.
And flip the bench, the defendant did hand me a copy of his motion. I took the recess of the court to file a response. I hand delivered it to the defendant as well as handing a copy to the court. If I may just respond to the record.
Yes.
Thank you. So
This is the prosecutor.
this motion was sort of put in 3 different sections, for lack of a better term. And
Yeah, the way that this works is the prosecutor works for the state, and their whole goal is to ruin your life. And defense attorneys are paid by the state, but do not work for the state. I mean, public defenders. They're paid by them, but they'll only let you have a public defender if you make under a certain amount. So this prosecutor saying that she handed him the motion, she's not going to do him any favors. This is going to end badly for him. If the prosecutor is trying to put him in jail, that's their position. That's just how the legal system works. It's an adversarial system. One side advocates for you relentlessly. The other side advocates against you relentlessly. And he doesn't have anybody on his side advocating for him that knows what they're doing. This is sad.
And they seem to all, 1 through 11 in each section seems to be the same item. So I only responded to the middle section, which were the motions and requests. The first motion was to compel the testimony of officers at a deposition. I'm asking the court to deny that, as the court is well aware of.
He wants to get the officers into a deposition. I'm not sure what purpose that would serve. This is why you need to use a lawyer right here, because there's a very specific, strict framework under which this is supposed to work, and he doesn't know it. Obviously, he didn't go to law school. I don't blame him for that. He just doesn't know it. Call it elitist or whatever. That's just how it is, you know?
Depositions are not appropriate in criminal court.
Yeah, depositions are for civil charges. You would want them to testify, and that wouldn't happen until you go to trial, I think.
Does the court want me to go through each
Again, not a lawyer, so.
one and then make a ruling on all, or do you want to do one at a time?
Let's do one at a time.
Okay.
All right. You got any response to the people's response?
Not for that, Your Honor.
No. Motion denied.
Thank you. The second request is request for discovery, where the defendant appears to be requesting that we produce different discovery items, as well as there's a sentence here that says the defendant possessed exculpatory video footage. Request an opportunity to submit it for review. I'm not.
Hang on, I'm trying to understand here.
Different discovery items, as well as there's a sentence here that says the defendant possessed exculpatory video footage.
Oh, okay. So the defendant possesses video that proves that the cops were lying.
Request an opportunity to submit it for review. I'm not. If he wants to give us something, that's fine, but I just think he should go through the normal discovery process, and I'm not saying the court not order what he's requesting in number 2, because it doesn't appear that there's been any request filed for discovery that hasn't been fulfilled or completed at all.
Well, here's what I'm going to do, at least at this point, is I'm going to deny the motion, that portion of the motion also. When he submits his request for discovery, then I'm going to deny that one specifically without prejudice. That way he can.
Without prejudice means that he can bring it back before the court when he gets enough evidence or whatever. It means it's not a closed case. If you dismiss with prejudice, then it means that it's over. You cannot bring that up again.
Raise whatever issue he may have.
I agree completely. Thank you so much. Number 3 was particularly troubling to the people, as it appears to be a request for the people to get medical records for some person and give those to defendant. I responded that request was unclear, but it appears to be that the people execute a search warrant to obtain medical information for.
Right. Why would he want? I mean, this is a completely unrelated issue. You can't just get medical records for somebody. You have to get a search warrant, and the police have to show up and requisition the medical records directly, right? But the prosecutor is predisposed to assume that he's working in bad faith. The prosecutor is a bad person in every situation. They might be a good person in their personal lives, but in prosecution, they are bad. They are bad people intentionally. That's just how it works. So there's a high possibility the prosecutor is lying. But, the public defender's office was behind him when all this shit was happening and offered him help. I will defend you. And here he is, no public defender.
Alleged witness who does not appear to be mentioned in the police report currently in possession of the people. Unless otherwise directed by the court, the people would think that the people do not intend to execute a search warrant to seek out private and potentially privileged medical information for this person.
Your Honor, in response to that, I have a FOIA records naming
Freedom of Information Act record. Okay, so the Freedom of Information Act means that he's allowed to obtain information from government organizations. I think like American Atheists, for example, they do FOIA requests on the federal government all the time. And the federal government has to turn over certain documents because it's public record and they can't just sit on that stuff. Okay, agency records. They're agency records. So he's requesting, I'm assuming he's requesting medical records are not agency records. They're personal medical records, right? I mean, I don't know this stuff. I'm guessing. I'm shooting in the dark, but from what little I know, it seems like medical records are not agency records. If he wanted, he could probably do a FOIA request for like the body cam footage, maybe. But I assumed that the body cam footage was already available to him. Maybe he could get through a FOIA request, like the price that the agency spent to like reimburse this person's medical records or something. I don't know.
I have a FOIA records describing the witness and his shirt that he was wearing, which is the reason why the deputies or the detectives were dispatched to the Puffer Reds parking lot at 3 a.m. that morning.
God, I wish I understood what was happening. He's saying there was a witness there that was wearing a shirt, which is the reason why the cops showed up.
I also have a picture of the witness being right there when I got arrested. I mean, I can show you it. It's quickly available here for me to show you, but I mean, he's really within
I really would be
grasp.
The defendant showing anything to the court that he has not disclosed to the people.
So,
Right. You need to show it to people first. There's a process. This is kind of sad, man, really.
given that I do have FOIA on my CAD records for the dispatch record of the police when they made comments saying there's a Huron Valley ambulance dispatched for a person due to high intoxicants. I wasn't dispatched through Huron Valley.
Oh, okay. I think I'm understanding. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, I guess what he's doing kind of makes sense, but to him, but not in legal terms. It doesn't make sense in legal terms. He's saying the person that called the police was drunk, but that doesn't change the fact that if, the charges are to be believed, that he attacked the cops. I'm not really sure the charges should be believed, but just from the court's perspective, it seems that he attacked the police, and that's what he's being charged for. It doesn't matter why the police were there in the first place. They could have been walking by. Hell, he could have called them for help, and it wouldn't matter if he attacked them, right? That's what the charges are for.
But this is in my police report. I think this is valid enough to say that he is a part of the same scenery and event.
Do you have a name?
His name is Jacob Spalding. I've known him for 15 years.
Oh, okay.
I was with him throughout the course of the night and
So you want his medical records?
I want to, first of all, subpoena him to get his witness.
That wouldn't come for a while still.
Get his witness statement on record officially.
You have to request. You can't subpoena somebody like that. It's not that simple. I mean, there's a whole thing that comes behind this, and he doesn't seem to know that. I feel bad for him, honestly.
And I would also like his records due to the nature of why they.
I'm not going to order. I mean, that is. I'm not going to order medical records. If you tailor a request for something that isn't available in another fashion, then that's fine. But I'm going to deny that motion.
Yeah.
So the judge is saying he understands the need for it, I guess, but he probably needs to get a lot more specific, not just medical records. Again, he may be able to do this if he knew what he was doing, but he doesn't.
A lot of my civil procedures, I will be correcting and will not have any more problems with. But as for right now,
Your civil procedures?
Civil procedure is a legal term that refers to lawsuits. This is not lawsuit territory. This is criminal territory. So there is no civil procedure here. Civil procedure is what he should be studying if he was dealing with a lawsuit. Right now, he should be studying, well, I don't know, I think a criminal procedure probably.
I'm trying to follow the rules of federal civil procedures, and this is my first.
Yeah, that's the problem. You shouldn't be following that.
Earl?
Oh, yeah, this is,
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, so we're a state court,
Okay.
and this
I'll
is
try to
criminal
follow the state
proceedings.
ways then. Thank you for
So-
your guidance.
Yeah, so you might want to start there.
Okay.
Okay,
So that 3
Well, at least he told him. That was nice, I suppose.
to 9.
huh?
3
But he should have been more specific. He should have said, you're looking at lawsuit stuff. This isn't lawsuit stuff. This is like criminal stuff. And it's also not federal. So don't look at federal stuff. Look at state level, like procedures and cases, precedents, and things like that. I don't know. I feel bad for the guy.
denied, Your Honor.
The whole motion's denied, yes,
Thank you.
all three parts.
Number 4 was to subpoena a witness. I just responded that the defendant should follow the subpoena process available to him.
I'm sorry. Hang on. Number 4. So this is a fourth, like, what do you call it? A fourth motion. Number 4 was to subpoena a witness.
A witness, I
Just responded the defendant should
responded that the
follow
defendant should follow the subpoena process available to him.
the subpoena process. Right. Yeah. So there's a process, like I said. I'm not exactly sure what the process is, but it's not just, submit a motion to the court and force him to show up and testify. It's not how it works.
That's it.
Understood.
Okay. Number 5 was that the defendant is requesting the report produce all audio.
Proxy says, I don't feel bad for him. The public defenders in Simpson's court are very good, and he should avail himself of them. I agree. However, my brother makes a good bit of money. He's not rich by any stretch of the imagination, but he makes good money. I don't know, somewhere around 100,000, 130,000 a year, I think. And he also has 6 kids or 5 kids or something. So maybe not so much. And when he got in his legal trouble, he had no choice. He couldn't use a public defender because he makes too much. And he also couldn't hire an attorney because he can't afford it. So, I don't know, rock in a hard place. It's a tough situation. I feel bad for the guy, basically. Knowing this court, Simpson will work with you. Yeah, it seemed like Simpson was willing to earlier, but then the public defender talked to him and now he's here without one. So I can't even tell. I don't know what's going on.
Or video recordings. I said he should.
No, step back here. The 5th motion, I assume, was that the defendant is requesting...
The defendant is requesting the report produce all audio or video recordings.
He's requesting all video or audio recordings. Okay, I think that's fair.
Said he should go through the discovery process. That's that motion at this point.
It's denied.
Yeah, he should go through the discovery process, and she said that's the motion at this point, and he denied his other motion because he should be using a different motion. Now, a normal judge who was not a legal expert and was not used to, just a layman judge will say that, this pretend fictitious judge, he would say, if you submit it in a different way, then I might be willing to give you that stuff. But this judge is treating him just like everybody else, and he says motion denied. So the guy assumes that path is off. It's been turned off to him.
Denied.
Thank you.
You can
Number
get
6,
to him.
the people, I'm not exactly sure. There's a motion to seal statements.
I don't know what that meant.
I don't either.
What does that mean?
It means any statements that I made under stress to either the police officers when they were questioning me or before, after.
What do you want to do with them?
They were questioning him. If he was detained and wasn't read his Miranda rights, I think it's probably reasonable that he would want that stuff detained, I assume. But again, I don't know.
I would like to suppress them so that they don't hinder my trial experience.
Trial, you just say, because so they don't affect me. That's okay. That's how this works. He's trying to soft pedal this.
As I was not
What does that mean?
I was not given proper notice of my rights when I was detained.
Maybe that's fair. I don't know the situation. Again, that's possible that maybe he should be able to flip that around.
And I was questioned thoroughly
So
afterwards.
you have to file a motion, you'd have to lay out specifics, as to how and or another any statement that you made, which it
Yeah, the thing is, you have to speak and write in a very specific way. It's very complicated.
doesn't sound to me like was the subject matter of necessarily an custodial interrogation, but it doesn't really matter. You're going to need to lay out all the elements of that before I would rule on that. But in its form, as it sits right now, that motion's denied without prejudice.
Without prejudice. So basically, if the guy brings more evidence or does it through the proper channels, then it could be approved. Okay. But he probably doesn't realize what without prejudice means.
Thank you. My response to number 7, which is the defendant is notifying the court of exculpatory video evidence. Okay. I don't have any response to that, really.
Patient and professional, even though she knows he's clueless. No, it sounds like she's being a shithead. And it sounds like the judge is being very condescending. They're both being condescending. I'm coming at this assuming that the guy has no money, doesn't have enough money to do it, and because of the way the legal system is structured, he doesn't have the ability to get a public defender. So, viewing that in good faith, I feel like she's being a shithead, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Beyond the fact that it seems that these are videos the defendant has, and that he hasn't.
Hold on. Let me just check here. An important clarification is Miranda is only necessary when you are being questioned. If he divulges any info without being questioned, he's screwed. Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So if he's detained and he just blurts out, okay, it was me, he's fucked. That's on him. But if they start grilling him before giving him his Miranda rights, then, and he says, yes, I murdered that person, then he could be in bad shape, right?
Received any videos from my office yet, so I don't. It seems that these are videos the defendant has, and that he hasn't received any videos from my office yet, so I don't see how
I have
to
video.
respond to
Sorry.
any piece of this.
I have videos, both FOIA requested from the Ypsilanti Police Department and my own.
Interesting. He got the videos through a FOIA request, so he submitted the FOIA request properly. I thought the FOIA requests were not for criminal charges. I thought that was for civil procedure, not criminal procedure. Did he actually succeed in getting these documents?
FOIA requested from the Ypsilanti Police Department and my own. I was formalizing the process for the prosecutor to build her prosecution.
To do what?
When I requested discovery,
So he had this already, is what he's saying, but he was going through the system so that the prosecutor was aware that he had it, I guess, is what he's saying. Well, if she requested discovery, then he could turn that stuff over, right? But
items that I'm going to do following the rules of civil procedure.
Criminal procedure, not civil procedure. This is a criminal case, and it's state level, not federal.
That's what I was, yeah.
So this last one, what are you going to do with that? What do you want the court to do?
I want the court to find on what grounds throughout the discovery process that I'm guilty of these crimes.
I don't think we're even at that phase yet. Did he say this is a bond hearing? I thought he said this is a bond hearing earlier. No?
Okay, sir, it doesn't, you seem to want this process to work away. It doesn't.
Maybe that's the disadvantage of being pro se, Your Honor.
Yes,
Yeah, it is.
sir, huge.
Okay, my phone just rang and then it just stopped ringing. That's weird. It says spam risk, so whatever. I don't even care.
Maybe that's the disadvantage of being pro se, Your Honor.
Yes, there are huge disadvantages because I think you know what you're doing, but you don't. It's become readily clear to me. You have no idea what you're doing.
No, I mean, I think he's admitted that, right?
And so I'm going to ask you, and it's going to cause some difficulty for you. So I'm going to ask you again, do you wish to be represented by an attorney?
I do not.
Right, like he discussed this stuff with the public defender earlier, presumably. So I assume this has already kind of been talked about into the ground.
Okay. Motion denied.
Number 8, defendant.
Like there are motions he could file to help himself that would improve his situation. He just doesn't know what they are is the problem. And he doesn't know the cases or the statutes or the precedents or whatever that he would need to know. A lawyer has that shit on tap. They know. This is just disappointing.
I request the court cancel all current bond conditions pending the.
Motion denied.
Thank you. Motion to continue proceedings. People weren't opposed to adjournments, but
Now, hang on. Wait 1 second.
number 8, defendant requests the court cancel all current.
Oh, I see. To cancel bond conditions. So let him out of jail. I don't know if he's in jail or not. And release his money, basically.
Bond conditions pending the.
Motion denied.
Thank you. Motion to continue proceedings. People weren't opposed to adjournments, but this is actually kind of includes several things. The request is to continue all scheduled hearings until requested testimony, evidence, and house.
Wait. She's reading these motions, by the way. He should be reading the motions, actually. You don't have somebody advocating for you that gives a shit about you. You're in bad shape because these people know what they're doing. They know this system backward and forward. He is just hanging himself here.
The request is to continue all scheduled hearings until requested testimony, evidence, and hospital records are provided. So I don't have an issue.
I think he's saying suppress records until evidence is provided. I couldn't understand.
Defendant needs more time to be prepared to have hearing, but I do have an issue if he's trying to say that he can't do anything until we get some of these medical records. So I'm going to get a search warrant for some of these medical records.
Oh, I see. So he says just put everything on pause until we get these medical records from this guy. I see.
And depose officers in the criminal case.
Again, he read about civil procedure. He read about lawsuits, not criminal trials. That's why he's saying depose. This guy he does not know. He has no idea. And what was the other thing? Oh, yeah. The guy's medical records is irrelevant. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter why the cops were there. They saw what happened. They, with their own eyes, they watched something take place and they tried to arrest him and he resisted arrest, right?
So I'm going to get a search warrant for some of these medical records and depose officers in the criminal case.
Which both of those have been denied. So by default, that would have to be denied if that's what he's asking.
I've made a note of the new address mentioned in section 10, and then there's number 11 is to seal all indictments. I don't know what this means.
I don't know.
All incident.
An indictment is where he's officially chosen by a grand jury to face trial, right? Or whatever. So, okay. I guess that he has been indicted, I assume. Unless this is a bond hearing? I don't know. I'm not sure.
The documents and evidence. I don't know what that means.
What is
Who's the guy on the bottom of the screen? I think he's the guy that's next in line waiting to speak to the judge. I could be wrong.
I don't know what this means.
I don't know.
All incident related documents and evidence. I don't know what that means.
What does that mean?
Look, they can very clearly suss out what he's trying to do here, obviously. They know what this means. They're not idiots. They just want to be condescending because they're legal experts, in my opinion.
It's reiterating the sealing. Anything that I said is really.
I don't know how that sealing would take place.
Okay.
I think you really need to think about getting an attorney. That part of the motion is also denied.
That's all. Thank you, Ron.
Okay, so what are we going to do?
Well, I would like a chance to amend the motion.
No, you can file whatever motion you want, but I'm going to tell you something, sir. I'm not going to sit here listening to frivolous motions.
Okay.
I'm just not going to do it.
That's not my intent, Your Honor.
No, I don't care whether it's your intent or not. 3/4, if not 7/8 of that motion that we just dealt with was frivolous. It has no basis in law at all. You're just filing stuff. I'm going to tell you.
I mean, I can clearly see his game plan here. I know what he's trying to do. He's just doing it wrong. Or it's just there's no basis for any of it, it seems to me. They say, I don't know what this means, because even if they do, they need it on record in his words. That's true. Yeah, you're right. They do. They can't assume anything.
I'm not putting up with that. Are we clear on that?
We are clear.
I mean, this is exactly what would happen in a real case. There's no prejudice against somebody here that doesn't know what they're doing, really. I mean, any judge wouldn't put up with frivolous motions.
So what do you wish to do now? Do you wish to have a preliminary exam set?
Yeah, I'd ask for some for adjournment in order to review the discovery material I've produced from my FOIA
That what?
that I've came up with through my FOIA request.
So he submitted a FOIA request. He received body cam footage, I believe, through that request, and he wants to review that footage. I think that's fair.
Or I'm going to plan on submitting the procedures as normal through the prosecution too, as well. But I need time to review the
What does
document.
that mean?
I mean,
Okay, I think it's pretty clear what that means. I mean, didn't he just say that he wants time to review the stuff?
I just got the documents and I haven't been able to review them, and I need time to review them, Your Honor. I can't decide on something and request for something right now in this moment if I haven't reviewed evidence.
So all you want is an adjournment.
After this response that I submitted to her and she submitted back, yes, sir, Your Honor. Adjournment for pretrial.
Well, dude, is he going all the way to trial?
Adjournment for discovery materials.
You know something, sir? Just because you use what seem to be legal words and try to place them into a sentence doesn't mean that it makes sense.
I understand that, Your Honor.
No, I don't think you do. I think you were just placing words in sentences, thinking that because what you're asking for makes no sense. And if you think it does make sense, then maybe this court needs to send you for a competency. And I'm not saying that jokingly. This doesn't make any sense.
I think if they analyzed him for competency, then he would receive his own lawyer by force, right? I don't know. But there'd be a lot of really negative repercussions anyway.
I'll grant your adjournment. Next time you'll need to fill out a sheet to do it, but I'm not going to waste the time today to do it because.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, for the record, I put the email address that Defendant should contact for discovery on this post-it note, which I'm going to place here, and he can pick up. He's indicated he doesn't want to communicate with me about his case.
He doesn't want?
Oh, at
He
that
doesn't want to
moment.
communicate with me about his case earlier, so I'm not going to speak with him today about this case, but I've given him the post-it note to get discovery.
Oh, yeah, that's a good way to get this going. All right.
So, okay, interesting. So he didn't want to meet with her earlier about the case.
Probably.
Look, you should not talk to a prosecutor under any circumstances ever. You should never talk to a prosecutor. A lawyer should talk to them on your behalf, maybe. Again, the prosecutor is there to ruin your life. That is their sole mission in life, is to ruin yours, to destroy you. And you don't even know all the ways in which they can do that. You could say one wrong word and they will take it and run with it and wreck you. So never talk to prosecutors or cops, because it's the exact same shit with cops or any court, anybody. Let a lawyer do it, because they know exactly how to be ambiguous enough to not get you in more trouble, usually.
Cause conference. Me. Yeah, let me at least have some turkey before I have to deal with this again. December 5th, 2024, 9 a.m.
There you go. Wow. Okay. December 5th. Well, it seems like that guy got a reprieve. He's on bail, right, though? I couldn't understand what was happening. I think that somebody certainly got the court documents here, right? Wait, what was this one? This was, Judge Simpson, pro se, clueless man. Let's see if we can find info on this. Is there, charged with resisting and obstructing, crime that comes with serious penalties in Michigan. However, even from the first 30 seconds of the video, it becomes clear that the man has no clue what he's doing. More frustrating still, he refuses Judge Simpson's repeated advice to get an attorney. Our channel aims to shed light on the judicial process, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I cannot tell. If somebody says, Your Honor, please dismiss all evidence that could incriminate me, that's pretty much what he was asking. I mean, they have body cam footage, so it seems like he's likely guilty. And everybody knows that he's guilty, and the court just needs to establish that he's guilty. And he's trying to say, please don't bring that evidence in. If I had to guess, I would say he knows that he's almost certainly going to, face charges for this. Or, I'm sorry, he's almost certainly going to, be found guilty of this or whatever. So he's just, he's not bothering to spend the money on it. I'm guessing. I don't know. Oh, yeah, his name was Magoo, wasn't it? Yeah, can't find it. That's a shame. Anyway, tell me what you think about it in the comments. I wish I could find more info on this. It's interesting. December 5th. I'm sure that we'll be coming back to this eventually when it finally plays out and see what happens then.